Welcome to another episode of the PLM Green Global Alliance. And this time, we're not talking with vendors or implementers. We're talking with two people that are interested in developing sustainability also from their business, and they're joined together through the INCOSE Sustainability Working Group Together. I'm here again with my partner in crime, Klaus Brettschneider, and together we are looking forward to a discussion with Hamza and Kai about sustainability together and how it can be valuable for our PLM Global Green Alliance. So Hamza, Kai, warm welcome from our side, and we are looking forward to work with you together. So let's start with you, Hamza. Please introduce yourself and what is your relation with sustainability?
Thank you very much for the invite and also for the collaboration with the PLM Green Alliance. We very much, I think it's very important to have networks collaborating with each other. To me, I'm Hamza. I work at INCOSE. We provide training and consultancy around product development. I'm especially with the team for systems engineering. My focus is especially on MBSE. So using MBSE or leveraging MBSE, and now also with AI to support or advance sustainability, because I think it's bringing a lot of benefits. Can bring a lot of benefit to sustainability if we use it in the proper way. Otherwise, it will go to the other side. My background. So I come from aeronautical engineering, studied in Hamburg, then worked at some suppliers from Airbus. And at some point I became very much interested in sustainability. So I wanted to very much focus on that. Then I switched to research, went to Fraunhofer, did some research there and so on. And that was like the start of my way on sustainability. Wrote also my master thesis and paper on model-based life cycle analysis. And so that was the start. And then at some point, left Fraunhofer, went to INCOSE like before 2 years or something like that, and then took the lead of the German chapter as one of the co-chairs there. And then we met at the IW 2024, and we created the INCOSE Sustainability Working Group together with the fresh chapter, so that now we have an international working group from INCOSE that is pushing the topic. And since then we have been growing to the outside world, and now we have you with us, and then we are bringing other networks, and Kai is bringing also many networks with her.
Hello, I'm Kai Constantini. I'm a former human capital strategist and HRIT professional. I transformed my career coming to Canada over 15 years ago in more or less regenerative design. I've been trying to implement this in various areas, and I specialized in biomimicry as well, thinking that we could become or finally become sustainable through learning from nature, and especially bringing this to engineering design as well, which has been a long-standing problematic, I guess, venture. And so I've always searched around how can we assess early whether a business model could be sustainable or not. I've been trying to do this in startup environments, and realized that we need a systemic approach, which is why I'm heavily engaged with the work INCOSE does, because I believe that this combined brain power of different engineering disciplines and the transdisciplinary as well as the systemic lens has great promise for this. And that's how I work with Natural Systems Working Group, which is again working on biomimicry or bio-inspired design for engineering. And now with Hamza's initiative, I've been very happy to join Sustainable Together, because I believe it brings things to another level. It's open, it is networked, and I believe those are many of the elements we need to push this further.
Thank you, Kai. We got connected thanks to actually a webinar with INCOSE about configuration management and sustainability. That's where I met Hamza for the first time. And maybe Hamza, can you tell us something about INCOSE? What does it bring for people globally? What type of organization is it? Is it more than model-based system engineering?
The INCOSE stands for the International Council for Systems Engineering. It is first voice for systems engineering and has been pushing the topic since a lot of years. It has over 20,000 systems engineers who are like members of the INCOSE, and yeah, so it had always like this holistic approach to products or organization. I mean, it also addresses the enterprise architecture. The PLM is also part of it, and valuable for sustainability, because sustainability needs this whole holistic perspective. So when we created the sustainability working group, there were already so many working groups working on some topics that needs like to integrate sustainability within them. Yeah, INCOSE is a very big organization that has been pushing systems engineering, and it has many topics from the systems thinking that are relevant for sustainability. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think in one way you could say system engineering is a silo in the traditional linear processes, in the traditional linear PLM also. But what we see in the Green Alliance that system in thinking and having the holistic view of your product development and your product life cycle is crucial for sustainability. And for that reason, I'm a big fan of the mixed match of model-based or systems engineering and sustainability. And Kai, you were talking about generative design and circularity. Is that also in the context of INCOSE, or is this your private job?
Yeah, so I started specializing, or that's how I got to bio-inspired design. And for us, I guess for me, the most important thing for a long time was how to see or how to ensure that we really become regenerative and rather than generative. So it's really seeing how we could give back more than we take. And so it goes beyond circularity, and especially how we can learn or inspire design for products, services, and especially in engineering systems through learning from nature. And that's been a long-standing subsection, I guess, in innovation and with a lot of over-promising. So I love the connection with Hamza's work and LCA and PLM, because the delivery is not as rose as we thought. It is, we need this really, I guess, digital part as well to assess things early on, if possible, and the connections to wider problem spaces. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I think our audience is a little bit familiar with the corporate sustainability, right? What's mostly around reporting and sustainability KPIs. Some will be familiar also with life cycle assessment. But what does the system engineering component actually bring to this aspect?
So the systems engineering, well, there are like some additional things that must be added to the traditional systems engineer. For example, now for us also, Jos mentioned, traditionally we were mostly like developing systems in a linear way, so that we design, produce, use, and then retire. Now with systems engineering, we need to add all these circular economy strategies, for example. And and so at the end of the day, there are a lot of similarities. So even when you say like reporting, so these are like some entities that need to be communicated from the mission and the vision in the organization, and then going down to the business level, and then to the product level, and so on, and then to the other life cycle stages. So we have been doing these things, but more like for the functionality or for the performance of the products. So now we need to do them for the sustainability aspects. Yeah, so I think that also like these topics of finding the optimal solution or the optimal sustainable solution. We already have been doing this kind of things, but we haven't been doing it for the sustainability perspective. So sustainability is like, it has these three pillars, like the economic, the social, and then the environmental. And then the focus was mostly on the economical side. So we develop systems so that they fulfill stakeholder needs, and then it should bring money. And now we're adding to perspective into it. So I think that theoretically, like most of the things have already like been done, like the patterns are the same. It's just like that it's another formula, like another entities that are happening there. Yeah, and I think it's systems engineering is especially known for the development of complex systems, and this new perspective bring a lot of complexity. So when we talk about circular economy, there are different models, but for example, one of the most used one has 9 circular economy strategies, and for integrating each one of them, with each one of them having in its own entities and so on, that's a lot of complexity. So that's why we can use the tools that have been developed from systems engineer or from MBSE to do this kind of analysis.
Exactly. Yeah, I would translate it as the need for system engineering is higher because we are so used to this linear delivery process. And I would say with system engineering, we broaden the mission of the product. We bring it into a circular economy. And also we have more stakeholders involved now that are also participating in the mission of our solutions that we build. So, and this kind of extra stakeholders and complexity is, of course, something hard to translate into traditional businesses. Do you have any experiences with that? Do you see companies introducing system engineering approaches to be more circular or have a better sustainable product development?
If we compare to before, of course, there are some changes, like things are happening, as you mentioned. So there were like also for the PLM vendors and so on, like everyone is providing solutions for sustainability. Regulations are coming. Some companies are doing something. Yeah, and then that's something. Some are doing more, some are doing less. And we need to much more actually to achieve what we must achieve to really get over this climate change situation. So yeah, so what I would like to say, or what I think, is that there is still a gap in the profitability of sustainability. It is not so easily, and especially also because like when we talk about sustainability, organization thinks more about like reducing the harm so that you are doing some efficiency, for example, recycling of your materials and so on. And the recycling in the circular economy model is the lowest circular economy strategy. So you are just like investing so much money and getting so less benefit from it, and that is not supporting or encouraging organization to address sustainability. And also like back to the reporting, also reporting can be also very cumbersome because you need to really do LCA, like every process that you have in your company with the inputs and outputs and all these things and the calculation. And yeah, so that's why we need like MBSE, digitalization, automatization of these kind of things. But I think that also that this is the perspective of doing eco-efficiency. And eco-efficiency, if we do eco-efficiency, so if we have a bad process and we make it more efficient, then we have an efficient bad process. So we need to have the good process first. So that's why we need like this eco-effectiveness. We need to look at having like solutions that not only reduce environmental impact, but also look at having positive environmental impacts. And it should be so that it is also profitable and also positive impacts on the society. And when you have these things, even like the assessments and so on will kind of become obsolete because you already have a positive impact. So yeah, I think like there is like a lot in the mental model to change, and also for sustainability to develop tools to provide this kind of measurements that you can show here is the benefit of regeneration and this kind of thing. It can have positive impacts and it can be also profitable.
One of the discussions we had in the Design for Sustainability work group was the fact that regulations are pushing companies to change their ways of working, and indirect, they push for a data-driven environment, and this indirect provides benefits of visibility of what you're doing, because a lot of work that is done is also a lot of guesswork. And I think, Klaus, you have been also publishing on that. I mean, first start measuring before you really start acting, know where you have impact. So system engineering is not necessarily data-driven. Model-based system engineering, yes. And there we see also the advantage of this approach. Kai, I'm curious, when you talk about learning from nature, are there any companies that listen to you?
So we like most of these things, we have our usual suspects, right? who've been L'Oreal, for starters. I mean, that's just not very close to engineering, but L'Oreal has done a lot, just to name a very big player. But there's also Interface in the US, who is a carpet manufacturer, and has inspired, by the way, lots of work for Target as well. So it's been sort of really something taken on in those areas. But overall, I guess we have also become a little bit more quiet about what we can deliver or what can be promised, because like everybody else in the sustainability field, also coming back to your question about, I guess, companies who do SE, we're just not there yet with most of what we're trying to accomplish, which again is why I think that SE has such a big promise. And as you just explained also with Hamza around the data-driven environments, we don't have them yet, right? So in one of our webinar series, we've had Bilbao, who's from a very small NGO, show what is behind regulations, where they fail, and how the measuring or the enforcement or the is not even there. So we are a little bit, from my perspective, going around in circles there. So I'm looking forward to the MBSE and other sort of more tech-driven approaches deliver on what we can do, also with respect to learning from nature, for sure. But my big hope is that all the integration of data from nature, which is now part of the reporting for biodiversity, for instance, might drive more of that. That's one of the things I'm really looking at.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a new angle for us PLM guys. We are thinking products, and we still have this mainstream in mind, and maybe some regenerations or some loops, but it's still far away from the day-to-day understanding, I think, in the PLM world. I mean, that's so it's great you mentioned those examples. What I hear, I think there is a lot of overlap what you're doing with your thoughts and what we try to achieve in the PLM Green Global Alliance also. And you both talked about the Sustainability Together project. Can you tell something more about this project?
Yeah, so maybe I can also give a short overview of what we're doing, the INCOSE Sustainability Working Group. So we have several activities, and Sustainability Together is one of the activities where we are. So we say, okay, we want to show this transformation from a conventional business model, enterprise architecture, and products into a sustainable one. Like how to do that, like develop the methodologies, and we want to do everything like digitally. Maybe we can even do it physical. So we have taken an effective example of a photovoltaic system where we are starting from a current system, and we say, okay, this is the current system. And for example, I think current photovoltaic systems are to 60% recyclable, so they are not really very well circular or regenerative. So we want to have these changes into them, and we are kind of having a company that has a business model, and for example, we are saying it used to sell photovoltaic system. We want to look into other business model, like provide photovoltaic as a service, and these kind of things, and what benefit does it bring, like economically and also to the environment and society. Yeah, this project is on GitHub. I can also send you the link, and then you can add it also like in this episode. And the idea is to have it also open source, like in the software engineering way, so that anyone can come support the topic. Yeah, bring an idea, test it out in the model. So it's like a virtual lab. So we want to have models so that it is a virtual lab, so that we can come, bring your ideas, test them, and verify, validate, and then we publish them in papers and so on.
Yeah, I understand that you have this virtual product or virtual enterprise ID, and from there you want to test and benchmark, I would say concepts. Who are participating? Are these academics? Is it people from companies? Who are your project members?
Yeah, so right now active are people from the INCOSE Sustainability Working Group. We also have people from the Cradle to Cradle NGO, and we are collecting on getting connected with people, like for example from you. We just like started, and we are already like starting some initiatives and looking on how to collaborate, for example, on semantic integration. Yeah, and mostly, so now what we see in the working group, and I find this kind of also a little bit sad, or we are also working on it, is that we find mostly like researcher, consultants, and so on, who are like active. We don't really find OEMs or industry people who are active in the working group. But we are also starting a work stream to talk with the industry to understand their needs and tell them how are you using sustainability? Is sustainability something? What are the challenges? So that we kind of get some to-dos from them, and then we can prioritize what is, I mean, sustainability is a big thing, so we want to prioritize what to work on. And this is like the goal of this work stream, to attract more from the industry. Also, this example that we have of photovoltaic system, we want to connect with some companies so that we have maybe they can provide the system, so that we have real data, so that we have a real example of what we are providing, and yeah, make it as close to reality and credible as possible.
Yeah, I think here we see a similar challenge. I mean, if you are in full action in a company, do you get the spare time to investigate new topics? Also in our Green Alliance, either you are retired or you're very passionate, but yeah, some of our earlier members, they got occupied in their current jobs, and in the end, they were not active anymore. And of course, yeah, software vendors or implementers, they have a mission to sell their products, and that's why they also want to participate. So yeah, we are understanding and sharing, I think, the same challenge, how to get people excited.
So the question for me is a little bit what is missing. So so where are the missing pieces? So what is really missing in your experience? Is this methodology, or these are systems, or these are fundamental data? What do you see is missing to make this happen? To basically design product sustainability with a system engineering approach?
Well, I will go back to Donella Meadows with her paper on the 12 leverage points. And she wrote that the highest leverage point for change is on the mental model. And the possibility to transcend our mental model is the highest one. For me, myself, also as an engineer, when I started working on it, I started looking at the product level. So, and when I'm working on it and I'm asking myself, okay, how much leverage does it really bring? I see that it is lots of constraint, and I'm seeing myself then looking up. That's why we are now focusing a lot on business models. And for example, now we are looking at regeneration a lot and focusing on it. And on research, also regeneration is still not really, there are not so many works who have been working or who prove that regeneration is quantitatively profitable, for example, that it is not only a fairy tale. So so I think this is like this relation between the product, the engineer, and the business perspective is still missing. So we can't only talk about sustainability just like that, or just like this green wishing. We also need to make it really realistic, profitable.
So if you say the mental, is this, you mean the willingness to do it, or is this more the understanding how to do it?
Well, I think that's many industries and people are stuck in their mental model, and maybe they don't know that there are these possibilities. I mean, it's like also the example of Henry Ford. I don't know if it's really sorry, but I think that the quote makes sense. So it said like Henry Ford, if he had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So it's a little bit going into that direction. And if you don't know that there is a possibility that you can really have products and have a business that not only has a positive impact in your profitability, but also in the environment, then how can you come up with the idea? So that's what we are trying to develop, show, prove if it is really the fact and under which condition it is really realizable. Yeah. So I think like the products, the engineering perspective is very solvable. Of course, it has some technical problems, but more like the business perspective and bringing business and the financial capacity to provide this kind of things. And I think this is what will drive also the industries. I mean, industries also look for profit, so they will not do something that is not profitable. And when we show several businesses that do this for profit, I think it will attract more businesses.
But they look for short-term profit. That's one of the big challenges. I mean, you see that you sometimes you have to invest in a project for many years or in new ways of working. And that was one of the conclusions also historically on digitalization in PLM. Management doesn't want to take the risk if it's not easy and understandable for them.
Yeah, I think that's so. I mean, theoretically now, I mean, the way, for example, let's say, okay, we want to have a model of a SysML model. We used to create this kind of model. It will take like a lot of time. Like now you can really create a complete model of your life cycle with the complete circular economy strategies and everything, and simulate it and do the what if analysis and scenarios in very, very, very short time. So this to give you I mean, the problem is like it's about risk assessments to like manage the risk and see where you are going and where is the way to go actually.
Is this something you are experimenting in the Sustainability Together project or are going to do?
Yeah, so definitely. So, I mean, as you mentioned, like regarding like who is working, it's also not easy to find time, capacity, especially in this time where everything is getting like so radically fast, everything is changing, the economical crisis. So also for companies, it's not easy to make this kind of decision to go into sustainability when you are fighting for survival and so on. We are running working a lot like with AI, LLMs, agents, and so on. And soon, so this is like also like this thing about Sustainability Together. It's not only like for sustainability, but also from the how you develop system, how you develop models, and so on perspective. We are also doing a lot of experiments there, and how to do it like with AI. We want to use, for example, OpenClaw, have it like working like really on the GitHub repository and developing solutions, and then we're gonna review them and so on. So we're gonna be experimenting with these kind of things. Yeah.
So for you, it sounds normal, GitHub and etc. But now, if you're a member of the PLM Green Global Alliance and you want to join also, where should you start?
I think I mean, we already like started talking about the topic of semantic integration. I think you mentioned that you also have it like kind of working on it. I think you already have some topics that you are working on that we also are working on or we want to work on. So I think like having alignment on these kind of things will be a good starting point, and then we can build up from there.
Yeah, in one way, I mean, I'm in two streams. I'm in the modern PLM stream and in the Green Alliance stream. And in the modern PLM stream, of course, we think data-driven, we think ontologies, we think federated environments. But reality, I would say the companies are not there yet. Huh? Okay.
Well, I mean, I think like there will be a lot of changes. So I think like the open source tooling is going to be changing a lot of things, and agents also. So it's like one of the things that we will, or in our vision, is to have like agents to do the work. So it's not anymore that you sit and do an LCA analysis. You have an agent that knows the LCA analysis and then supports you and takes information from you and does the analysis for you.
What do you think a company has to do is, if they want to be a leader in sustainability design in 2030, what do they have to do today to get there from your perspective? And I want then afterwards know the same from Kai. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to sustainability, I think having really the right mental model and the willingness for this is the most important thing. So as we say, like if there is a will, there is a way. So I would say start with like going to the forest or somewhere in the nature and having a sense of nature. And when you come back from that, I think you will have like some fresh ideas, and then start looking to the mission and the vision of the company. From there, you start integrating sustainability and then going down to the business model and then to the products and so on. So I think it's definitely from top down if you want to have the most effective impact. And solutions, I mean, there are solutions to any problem. I don't think that, especially now, there are very few problems that cannot be solved, I think, if we want to.
And Kai, what do you think?
Well, I do a lot of wishful thinking. I have to, because of the biomimetic. For me, to be honest, what I've been trying to, the way I've been answering the questions is that I'm coming down to earth right now, realizing I think our community does in a way. We hear more voices where we understand that what we really had hoped to accomplish might not be deliverable. So we are more modest, but I think we needed to dream as much as we did, and we still need that for 2030, I guess. So we're not getting to what we really want to be, and I don't think we will be there in 2030. I hope that AI will help us to be faster, more productive in those environments, and I think you, Klaus, might know much more about all this and how it could pan out. What I'd like to see, as I said, I believe that with more data coming, but with its own problems, obviously, from the natural world, and showing us clearer pictures of reality and how we impact, I hope that this will infiltrate, and that's the word, into day-to-day activities. I've realized how little engineers have or can influence in a day-to-day way the product development for making it really greener or looking to nature. So I also, like Hamza, come back very much to this getting mental models out there which allow people to go deeper, and by seeing more and combining more. And so I guess, believe in 2030 we'll be at a nice momentum where all this, I hope, can be combined. And I think SE is very well positioned to help with this. So we had Franco Amalfi from Capgemini present to us with a tool they're trying to develop for net positive change, which also goes into well-being. So I think there is a lot in these areas, but at the product level, as Hamza said, we also realized in our working group that is very limited what we can do there. So we're looking more to architecture. That's another element for what, this overall global lens. That's all I can say. My hope, and maybe also to come back to something you said before, who are the people who are involved? We work like you with volunteers, but intergenerational. And I think that's really important. So those are my hopes there, that because of this and the upcoming, engineers out of university push stronger for more sustainability in spite of what we think. So I guess with the combination of that, I hope we can deliver more faster.
So I think we're all in the same mission of awareness. You might call it creating the mental model, creating the understanding. And I think that's where I see an opportunity. I understand your INCOSE working group is open also for externals, for people who want to contribute and participate. So I think also part of the result of this interview, Klaus, we should announce it again also to our PLM Green Alliance for people with a clear message, what they can be learning, but also can contribute to the work group. So Hamza, Kai, you have to think about a one or two liner. How do we motivate people to join?
Well, maybe I'll just start us off by I have a couple of really strong motivations. Why I work with INCOSE, and those were the elements I just mentioned, intergeneration, I think because of the combination of talent and skill and intergenerational, there is momentum to deliver on things. What made me really join Hamza's initiative is because it's open. I think that is really vital moving forward, and on GitHub, so allows people to access it easily, work asynchronous on top of, and then sort of we have a low floor, high ceiling approach. And I guess that means that most people at any stage of their career can easily position themselves and find a spot where they can contribute. There's a lot of interesting things going on.
Okay.
And the networks which are joining are exciting. So like you guys.
2 sentences from my side, though. I think it was also going to direction what Kai mentioned. I think it's exciting and fun. Just the working with people and the people who you meet and the different communities and your ideas. I mean, even if you are not interested in sustainability, I think the topics that we are addressing are very, very challenging and complex and very rewarding also to work on them. I mean, and you learn a lot of things that you can use also in your day-to-day life engineering. And come as you are, there is place for any idea, and we need a lot of ideas.
That sounds like a good conclusion. Thanks for your contribution and inputs, and I hope that really we merge our streams together in a more sustainable future for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
the invite.